This is one of the things I like to do every month is take a minute and look at some wonderful photographs. We have the Bainbridge Island Photo Club here, and we're going to talk about some of the photos that were submitted and honored in the recent Northwest Council of Camera Club competitions. And something to talk about is the program. It's sponsored by Fieldstone Communities of Bainbridge Island, which offers independent and assisted living and memory care up on Rolling Bay. And if you'd like to learn more about their facilities or sample their food, they'd be happy to treat you to a tour and lunch or dinner. Just give them a call at 206-594-1010. Check out their website, fieldstonecommunities.com. Also, we'd like to acknowledge that we are meeting and living on the ancestral homeland of the first peoples of this area, the Suquamish people, the people of the clear salt water, who have been plying the waters of the Salish Sea and living on these lands since time immemorial. We honor them, and we are learning from their stewardship of this natural area in which we live. So I don't know how we want to get started here on this. I think, Tom, you were curating this, were you not?
Yes, I was and stuff, and so
maybe
I'll do some talking.
Okay, great.
And people will chime in and help me if you know a little bit more about the photo than I do, because I don't have exact total recall and or notes about everything that was submitted.
So why don't you just start a little bit by telling us what the submission in the Northwest Council is and all that.
Yeah, Northwest Council of Camera Clubs is kind of a regional organization. It's really comprised of all camera clubs in the Northwest, but basically they're primarily focused. There's in Western Washington, because they're here, and most of there are a lot of very active camera clubs here, so they have both online, digital type competitions, and then they have competition that's focused around like an annual conference and stuff where they actually do prints. And this year, we had another banner year. We always show up and we do pretty well. And this year we had 17 photographers submit entries into the various competitions and stuff like that. And a bunch of people won stuff, but to me, what's more important than just the winners, and later on may make a comment that kind of draws that to light, is that all these photographs are really, really fantastic, and participation, just get in there. And it really helps people in the club improve their skills, show off their work, and whatnot. So that's kind of the gist of that. And my role is I basically coordinate the club's participation in those competitions and represent them at meetings. That's about it.
Oh, let's start. Shall I show the first images that are here online?
Yeah. This open print salon occurred in November. There were only about maybe 6 to 8 clubs that in the region that basically participated in that, and a lot of clubs are not meeting in person like we're doing, or they may be meeting only online. We have a in-person and a hybrid, where we have members in California and Oregon, and and we have by having meeting in person, and the 4th of July we have a very active print group, and so this year 7 of our photographers participated in that, and we scored 3rd place overall of all the clubs that participated. The first image is one of Bob's, and I'd like to say something before I'll let Bob talk about that. I said that, participation is important. Bob did not, win anything from the judges, and Dorothy, last year did not, but his image here and Dorothy's image last year were selected by the People's Choice Award, and that's where the people attending the conference, they vote, they look at the prints and they vote, and they basically pick something, and this was passed over by all the judges, and same thing with Dorothy's Boys in the Boat last year. So part of awards are, it's like, the bias of the judges, although they're using objective criteria. So all of our images are really, really super, and that's why we really focus, I think, on participation and involvement, and it keeps our club very active. So.
Do you want me to say a few words here?
Sure, that would be great.
Okay, yeah, this is a picture taken at an abandoned farm outside Mitchell, Oregon, near the Painted Hills National Monument. And Dorothy and I stumbled upon this place. It's now on Bureau of Land Management property, and it's just a gorgeous place. It's I don't know, a short, mile hike in or something like that, but it's just gorgeous place. And we spent several hours here photographing the abandoned buildings, the farms. But this is actually taken with my drone, because with that on at ground level I couldn't get the perspective of the corrals and stuff. And so this is actually with my drone hovering about 20 feet, 25 feet in the air, just to get a different perspective than I could on the ground. But the texture of the grass at that place is just marvelous. So anyway, I just like this picture, and I hope to go back to this ranch again, just because you can spend days there photographing.
I love the picture too, Bob, and it takes me back to every old-timey Western I've ever seen.
Shane, come back.
The combination of, there's probably nothing more inviting for a amateur photographer than deteriorating buildings, and the combination of that with the waves of grain of grass and the motion that you have in the corrals, just the way that they're swimming in that grass. It's delightful.
Beautiful.
It's really
Yeah.
a composition too. And there's so many times where I wish I had like a tall step ladder, because I don't have a drone. Because it was really great that you had that with you, because it does give you just a really unique perspective.
Drone's a lot easier to carry than a ladder.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jane.
I was just going to say quickly that I don't know if it was you that was in Shirakawago in Japan, but this reminds me of there's a World Heritage Village that is intact the way it was centuries ago. And this reminds me of that, the kind of thatch roof. Not that this is, but it immediately I had that feeling. This could be Asia.
I actually hadn't. Yes, it was us. I had an infrared picture at our 4th of July from Shirakawago, and I hadn't made that connection. Jane, thanks for mentioning that. I had not actually put that together. I'll have to think about that. But yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Mm.
Diane, you pretty much cleaned up here with three of your images. Out of I think it was like 6 is the maximum you could submit, or 4. I forgot the rules, but you pretty much cleaned up here. But,
I was very honored, but like you say, there are so many outstanding images. It's just becomes quite subjective. But I people that know me know that I like to try different things, and this is kind of my latest interest is architectural and urban kind of photography. And I had come into Seattle, and I was just walking around looking at buildings and stuff, and I was working my way up kind of towards the Seattle Center, but I happened to walk past this, and it's actually the Pacific Place building, I guess like the northeast corner. I'd never seen this, and I just looked through these windows and saw these incredible lights. And so I just went right in, and the widest angle I had was 24 millimeters. So I had to kind of get back enough to get the stairs in, but I just, and it was very little traffic. I think I only had to wait a couple times so that there was nobody in the image. Of course, we can always take those out now as we know. But anyway, I really liked the light and, the look that it gave. And I called it the Stairway to Heaven.
Yes, it looks more dramatic than when I've been in that building. I've noticed it looks very elegant.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. It's dramatic without being in your face. It's kind of a gentle dramatic.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you've got complementary colors, leading lines, you've just got all kinds of things going on with elements of design.
And the perpendicular, the vertical of the building, of the upper right, and the stairs, the contrast between dark and light, and of course the spots in the ceiling look like stars.
Yeah, I didn't do much in processing. I did make the black part darker because there were some things that were showing up that I didn't want to be there. And but I didn't have to do much to it. It just kind of was there for me.
Beautiful.
And this is one, last Thanksgiving, we go to our cabin a lot. We didn't do it this year, but it's over by, Lake Wenatchee. And it was kind of a fluke. I just was a little bored, waiting, we'd gotten the turkey in the oven. I just thought, well, I'm going to go out. And so I took my camera and it was this frost on all these leaves. And it turns out I have like a number of iterations of this that I like them all. I like the tones as well as just all the frost, lining all the image or the leaves. So anyway, I'm having trouble talking apparently.
Well, I do think that the autumn colors and winter, it's a beautiful composition, and the different textures as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's beautiful, thank you for showing it.
Beautiful.
Great picture.
One more here.
Okay, so this is back to my architectural. I was visiting my sister who lives in Maryland, and we went into DC for, we spent a day there. We went in museums and stuff, but I was just mostly fascinated with the outside, the architecture. So this is the Hirshhorn, and just underneath kind of a facade, I just was looking up and I just liked the different, the curves and the straight lines and just, and I turned it to black and white, which I think works better. So that's it.
It's a perfectly shaped, designed museum for modern art. That's for sure.
Mm.
Oops. Okay, Tom.
Yeah, the next two images are mine, and it's kind of the thing I became obsessed with this year was expressionistic and post-impressionistic photography. And the process, I like it to like distressed furniture, where in distressed furniture, you take, something and you take a chain and you just beat up on it until you get something you like. And so that's kind of what I did. This one was a shot of some buskers in Pike Place Market, and I loved it. The lady playing the bass, it's called Mama Plays Bass. Had the dress, the mood, and I just took and just played with various sliders until I got something, a lot of saturation and warmth. I did things to try to blur the people in the background so to focus more on the museum. And if anybody wants to donate, there's a QR code down in the bottom. So have it.
I was gonna call out the fact that you left their Venmo in there.
Anyway,
Part of the picture
it's
that
just a
looks
fun
like it
shot. I
could.
love street photography. That's one of my jams.
Yeah, I mean, you could imagine this from almost any era, given the hats and so forth, but
Oh, yeah.
the QR code gives it away.
Yeah, it's a really fun photo, Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that could be, if anybody remembers what an album is, could
Yeah,
be an album cover.
Yeah.
yeah, that's good. Yeah. This is a photo from 2015 when I just picked up a camera. And, after I retired and I took a trip to Argentina, the Easter Island, and Chile. And we were in Argentina. I knew we were going to we were going to take a tango lesson. And so one of my other hobbies is ballroom dancing. And so I took, an hour lesson, whatever, in tango because I didn't want to look stupid. The tango lesson that we took down there was really, really, kind of very basic, and everybody else, it was like a major tour overseas adventure. And so nobody else was a dancer. So everybody was struggling. But my wife and I actually did get out on the dance floor, and we didn't get kicked off where other people who tried to get out there did get kicked off. And, we spent a lot of time looking. I was intrigued by the bottles that were in these glass cases. And, I took a number of shots, trying to, because you look at it like that. And when you go to this expressionist sort of thing, this is not about the dancers in the background. It's the bottles that are doing the tango. So that was kind of, the regular picture is so horrible and whatever, but you can take that really bad picture and, hit it with a chain, and it comes out something nice. This was not, the other one I got an honorable mention on, but this is just, one of the also ran kind of ones.
I commend your courage, Tom.
Yeah.
I would have needed one of those bottles in me in order to take a tango lesson.
I actually love tango. I
Oh,
really do.
I do too, but I wouldn't
Well,
destroy.
I don't know how to do any of the kick steps, and there's no way in hell I'm going to do a lift. But I have the basic steps down that people say, you really know how to tango. And the thing I like about it, there's absolutely no rules. You can, like dance, you start on your left foot or your right foot or whatever. No, it doesn't exist. So the bottom line is your partner really has to pay attention to you and follow, because you don't know what you're going to do. There aren't any rules. And the only rule is if you go two steps to the left, your partner has to, it's called taking you to the cross, and you have to cross your legs, and then something else will happen, and you got to wait for what happens to bring you out of that move. But
So a lot of improvisation
really,
and a real dependence on Ginger Rogers if you're the Fred Astaire.
Well, I love this. It's a whole new image I have of you, Tom. I just doing the tango. That's very fun to imagine.
Now,
Maybe a lesson sometime.
Yeah,
Now,
I'm
Chuck-
rethinking it, Tom. Maybe both bottles.
this is Chuck's dance of the bumblebee.
So it's a bumblebee, and it's I was just out shooting the bees, and I can't even remember the name of the plant. It's in the picture title.
Bee ball.
It says bee balm.
Bee balm. Yeah. Okay. So it's bee balm. A bee balm has an absolutely beautiful set of colors in it. And of course, it is made to order for bumblebees. And I remember as a kid thinking bumblebees were something to be frightened of, but they're really not. They're very cool to photograph.
And very difficult to photograph, I might say, Chuck. Well done.
The colors are great.
Beautiful.
like the fact, the lighter green in the background, so it shows off the bumblebee even more, so.
Yeah, well, I had to bribe him with pollen.
Well,
Do you know how?
I like how you caught how fuzzy he is.
Mm. Do you know how fast you shot that?
I think it was 1/2000th or 1/3000th of a second, something like
Mhm.
that.
Mhm. Beautiful. Oh, that's
Hmm.
great.
Okay, so that's mine.
Great, Dorothy.
Um, that was just that's a cell phone picture on the streets of Tokyo at night. And I saw this little kid come out of this shop with a cotton candy cone taller than he is almost. So I walked up to his mom and I asked his mom if it was okay if I took his picture, and she said yes. And then I walked over to him and asked him if he minded, and he said no, he would be happy. And actually this was all in several languages, because I think maybe they were speaking Dutch, I'm not sure. But anyway, but they indicated that it was okay. So I took a few shots of him, and he looks like a local street urchin, but I'm pretty sure he was a tourist.
It's a great picture.
You know what's so great? The cone is obviously grabs your attention, but it's him peeking around it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is just fabulous. I love this.
And the enormity of this cotton candy. I don't think I've ever seen one that big.
Well, it was definitely attention getting.
Don't
Let's
show it to his dentist.
Well shot.
Okay, oh, I guess, yeah, Rich, yeah, okay.
Okay, transition time.
Okay, the traveling image salon, basically, we used to do a traveling print salon, but when COVID hit, it got kind of put on the wayside, and we came up with, trying to keep things alive and keep participation going. We came up with a digital version. In this particular, this year we had 10 clubs in the Northwest Council participate, and basically you could had to provide 20 to 25 images to participate, and they would be circulated around to the various clubs, one each month. All the votes were collected electronically. We had 16 people basically, participated in this. And so at the end of the day, you're talking about there were somewhere in the neighborhood of 200 to 250 images that all got voted on. And that what they would do is they would take the top 6 from each club, and they were juried by 3 judges and voted on, and then basically awards were given, and 2 of our images got honorable mentions, and we've got all 6 of the juried images showing here, and then we have the ones that also participated. This is the Fall of the Dolomites by Yue Lai. And he loves to travel, and he does wonderful, sharp, totally sharp travel type photography of mountains. Loves mountains, a lot of things in Torrel de Pinas and things like that. I don't know a lot of any of the other details in this one, but it's just a beautiful travel image landscape. Norm James, Moonlight Hunt. Norm loves to travel Eastern Washington with his dog, and basically do a lot of night photography. However, he also likes to do a lot of day photography and then turn it into night. So I don't know which one that he, which way he went with this one. I think this one might have
I
been.
think this is one of those day and night ones because I remember talking about those lights when he shared in an earlier video, which you can watch on our YouTube channel, how he had to turn on those lights. And maybe one of them isn't a real light. I don't know.
Your memory is very good, Reed.
But yeah, and his playing around with the time of day is pretty amazing.
Yeah, he really has perfected this. It's a pretty fun.
And of course, Pip is in there.
Yep, his dog.
Oh,
Pip.
yes.
Yeah, it's like Where's Waldo? You have to look for Pip.
Yeah, right.
And this is yours.
Okay, so I named this the Patriarch. This is actually taken at the Woodland Zoo, and oh, I had so much fun watching these orangutans. You know, this was just, he was off by himself, and you know, they have these burlap sacks that I don't know, it was wintertime, so maybe they helps them stay warm, but they would pull them over their heads and then they'd peek through. And I mean, this guy didn't, but you know, I think I spent 2 hours just watching them. Anyway, I love this shot because, you know, he's a really cool guy. And I like the colors, the background, how it matched his fur, and, you know, he's got his peanuts there, you know, in a little bag. So it's obviously a zoo shot. But anyway, I just really became enamored with this guy.
The lighting and color are really stunning in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you offer it to him as a dating app picture since he was sitting off by himself?
You know, that's a good idea, and I didn't.
And this one is Cascading Water by Frank Willman. You know, he loves a lot of travel photography. I guess we just saw a slideshow. They were, you know, nomads for 6 months or so traveling around. He does a lot of hiking and things like that. And, you know, you know, if you see a waterfall, you got to shoot it. Unfortunately, he had to have a tripod and, you know, a lot of a very slow shutter speed to make that water so soft and things like that. But that's about all I know about the picture. Beautiful.
Yeah,
Beautiful
magical.
shot.
I love how he's got the lighting on the moss. The moss almost looks luminescent or something.
Yeah. This is Cascading Water, a waterfall in Iceland, and it's by UA Way Live. And it's interesting. One of the things I do know about this picture is UA asked me, well, can you, you know, is it allowed to do vector processing in Photoshop in the rules? And I could, you know, we did some research, and yeah, it's possible because that ain't a real waterfall. But it's a beautiful image. So, you know, it ain't AI, but it's vectoring or whatever, and I know nothing about that, and so I didn't even know it existed.
It's a completely different view of a waterfall than what we just saw.
I think this should be on a Flat Earth Society webpage somewhere.
An infinity pool. Yeah, Yue is quite talented with post-production. He has a lot of fun trying different things. So,
And this one is mine, called it Flying High. It was taken at Discovery Park at a dance photography workshop. We basically had 3 or 4 female dancers, and they usually get one guy. And this guy was, I forget his name now, you know, but he was very athletic, and you know, rather than just being a model, he was actually doing a lot of, you know, dance moves and stuff like that. And so, you know, we shot a number of shots trying to capture this, the one I liked. and taking it to black and white just made it stand out a whole lot more.
The clouds look like they are energy coming off of his fingers.
Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful image, Tom.
And I love the cloud. That's okay. That was next to his hand.
That's on both sides.
This is Andrew Berg. It's called Waiting, and I wasn't sure. He did provide me with a note, but for a while I thought, that looks really familiar. I live along Rich Passage. You can see my view from home, and there are so many container ships down there. Says that really looks familiar. But this is empty container ships in the Bulliard Inlet await to their port in Vancouver, and it was shot in early January from English Bay Beach and stuff like that. But yeah, those suckers are noisy. And annoying. We're trying to get rid of them here.
Yes. Yeah, they look so peaceful there in that shot.
Yeah.
The problem is that we like what's in the containers.
Oh, yes. And this is this is Pelican by Carol
Evanger?
Yeah. And lovely bird shot. Feathers are all nice, and it's he's bowing his head.
Really nice background too.
This is Chizuko's Ice in the Universe. Chizuko does a lot of hiking shots and a lot of macro things with flowers and a lot of very different things. And she usually approaches them from a very different perspective. And I really like, this shot because it's a different perspective of ice and things like that. And this is Colleen Parker's Aspen Paths. Colleen and Lars are members who just recently moved to Oregon, and they're going completely bananas shooting so many neat subjects down there right now. But I'll tell you what, this is a beautiful aspen path. You can never walk past an aspen grove without taking a beautiful shot. That's everything. Every time I see an aspen shot, I love it.
I love the tone that she chose. I assume there's a filter on that. It makes it really unique. It's really nice.
And this is Gwen Wyatt's Bison and Friend. You can see the little bird down there.
Good use of black and white on that one.
And Hadley's mirror disco balls. We had a theme called mirror image, mirrors, and he went on to hunt to find working disco balls in the greater Seattle area, and it was some cocktail lounge in Fremont, so we know where he's hanging out. It was a dark hallway, and he took a handhold shot leaning against the walls, and he's this is the serious part. He's planning to go back there and try some more shots.
Well, of course he is.
As they say on the internet, I see what you did there.
I don't know if he intended that way, but that was really good. And this is Irma's star Magnolia. Irma shoots a lot of macro and really loves that, and has a lot of lighting equipment to to make her images pop and things like that. So, it just, and they're always stunning, stunningly beautiful. And Jane, you always come up with interesting shots.
Yeah, so this, I called it Amazing Grace. It's, if you've never seen the Cirque du Soleil, the contortionists, it's just incredible what they're able to do and bend, curve their bodies. So this was taken, we go to, I've been to the Cirque many times. I just actually was there a couple of months ago because they're have a tent pitched on the beach in Santa Monica. So it's irresistible. So this one I took of one of the contortionists, and particularly like the mist that and the color around her.
And this is Lars, it's bald eagle in his backyard. Although they're going crazy in Oregon with some photography, they gave up probably one of the best, or maybe second best, backyards, because there were eagles, owls, and birds galore. He's actually doing a whole series on Facebook and Instagram of bird of the day pictures, and his bird pictures are absolutely amazing.
This is the pic I couldn't refuse to put on as the promo for this chat.
And this is Paul Burns, Clouds in the Water.
Brian's.
Brian's, yeah. And so anyway, he does a lot of shots of Battle Point Park and a lot of nature walks. He does a lot of photography for Stand for the Land and things like that, as well as a bunch of social events like 4th of July parades at senior centers, et cetera, et cetera. And he really liked this. This is one I think was done with mirror. For our mirrors theme, as I recall. I'm not 100% certain, but it's just really, really a nice picture of clouds mirrored in the water.
Yeah. It's an example of how important it is to look when you move around places that you may go often. Many of us spend time in Battle Point Park, but have you really looked before? Paul is saying, try it.
And this is from Tony Lamb, and the title is "What Are You Looking At?" And Tony's one of our newer members. He said this image was shot in Toronto in 2023, and he noticed the statue sitting on a wooden bench and appeared to be looking at something to its right. And I noticed the poster of the statue featuring a man looking in the direction, and I found the situation quite comical and took the shot. And the shot was made with an iPhone, and then it was converted to black and white in Photoshop.
Fun picture.
Yeah. Okay. At the conference, the Northwest Conference this year in November, they had an open digital salon, and basically 51 photographers from 8 clubs submitted 198 images, and 10 of our photographers submitted 39 points. We showed up, and we showed up, fairly strong. And 2 of ours received an honorable mention. The first one is Norm James's window shopping. Everybody can recognize this, and this was shot in the daytime. and he turned the lights on and made everything else dark. You know, his signature thing that he's been jamming on this last year or so. Beautiful image. Love the dog. And the other one was the Canopy Tower at Islandwood by Rob Wagner. And it's, you know, Rob takes a lot of pictures of things and then, you know, tries to make them very different from what they really are in an abstract mode. Most of his things are in color. This one is in black and white. And it's got a lot of geometry, and they're always totally interesting and stuff like that.
Yes, this is one of the rare Rob photos where you can actually at first blush see what it is he took a picture of to start with.
It's a good thing Rob's not here. He'd be insulted by that, Reed.
He may watch this later.
And this is Bob's bird watchers.
Yeah, I took this down by Shoal Shoal. There's a heron rookery there, and you know, you're looking from below, shooting up at them up in their nests, and I just thought it was funny, the two youngsters looking back at me. I just thought it was kind of really cool to see them right up there above my head.
Well, this did really well in the July 4th People's Choice, didn't it? It came in second or third. What was it?
I don't remember what it came in. Maybe
Right.
I don't remember.
It's
It was
very,
hot.
yeah, so very popular.
And I'm guessing that this is another photo where, you know, you can't plan it. You just have to be looking in the right place at the right time. Because I mean, I'm guessing that, I mean, it's the composition of that is just hilarious.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Let's see. Oh, Chuck, this is yours. Yeah.
So Cayucas is a coastal town in the middle of California, and I love piers. And the sun had actually already gone below the horizon when I took this picture, so it's a little bit longer exposure, as you can tell by the nature of the water.
This is one of my favorites of yours, Chuck. You know, I just love this.
I
Same.
love vanishing point stuff. I think that's really neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the colors are exquisite.
Yeah, the colors are magnificent.
Well, and the
It
way
has-
that the composition with the colors basically being defined by the pier.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would say it has no pier, except it does. So,
Oh,
oh,
That's our Chuck. Okay. This is mine, and I took this wandering around Seattle. I was actually on a photo walk with Lisa and John Merrill. You know, many of you know who they are. Anyway, there were these huge windows, and a bullet or something had broken it, and it was tempered glass, so it was all intact, but just, you know, and I took a bunch of shots kind of, you know, real close in. And then this one I focused on the glass, but this is a reflection from a building behind it. And I just thought it was a really neat effect. So.
that is great, because if I saw a window with a bullet hole through it, I'd go, oh, I don't want to take a picture of that. It's got a bullet hole through it. That's a great picture.
I actually don't even know if it was a bullet or what, yeah, but something had.
Something.
Yeah.
I was going to say, when did that?
we had a really weird situation happen at the center where the door, you guys may have noticed, where the door shattered, and we think it was just that the double pane glass had aged and a gust of cold wind or something popped it. But
Ooh.
who knows? Anyway, we had that effect, but I didn't take any pictures of it, and it wouldn't have looked like that.
I like the composition here a lot,
Yeah.
Diane.
Yep. Yep.
Absolutely. It looks like an impressionist painting
it does.
in some ways.
This picture would make Rob jealous.
Yeah, well, it is,
Yeah,
has an abstract component, which I like, but,
Yeah.
yeah.
beautiful. Mhm.
Oh, this is
Fish in
mine.
the boat, take two, right?
Yeah. Yeah, this is a picture. I think some of you've seen it before, but I had never entered it into the digital salon. So there you go. It's a picture I took on Kodiak Island. And I like it because, I mean, it's pretty dramatic with the expression of the fish. And so there you go.
Great
It's
picture.
beautiful. That's
Mm.
not for the, that's a salmon, right?
Yes.
Maybe? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a salmon. And it was bright and early in the morning.
This is Hadley Chamberlain's picture, and it is Monterey Cypress. It's, and
In
this was
Monterey, yes, the Lone Cypress. I was there about 2 months ago. It looks like in the 17-mile drive, the Lone Cypress, which is
yeah,
well known.
it's taken in the
Beautiful.
early 90s, and it's a 25-foot tree seated in 1750. Okay. And it's like, it's the longest living Monterey cypress recorded to date, as it's 284 years old. You see a single tree standing there, you got to take a picture of it.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So this I took at the end of July um, on Blakely Island. It was a field trip for BIPC. I think Norm and I were the only ones that were there, and it was a moonrise. I just love the. I just. It was an extraordinary experience in terms of everything coming together, and the pilings that are in the water, I think, really added to it. So this is Blakely Harbor.
Beautiful, Jane. I really like this.
Mm,
Oh, I
thanks.
see this is a composite because the moon is in focus and yet it's long exposure.
Yes,
Yeah. Nice.
Well done. Yeah,
Very-
beautiful.
thanks.
This was mine. This was a few minutes after the flying high one. Basically, the sun was going down, the workshop was over. I was walking back to the car and saw a nice sunset over and did a lot of playing around in Luminar Neo, and a bunch of other things to kind of kind of alter that. And, I think it's got a little bit of Orson effect in there, and a bunch of different things.
Another perfect album cover. We were talking about album covers. This looks like it could be.
It became a calendar cover.
There you go.
This is
Or mood
Kimberly
music.
Kimberly Phillips. Let me see the title, because this is Eagle Harbor Storm, and she's one of our newer members. I don't know any of the details behind this, but she entered that. I think she had only been a member like a month or two when she did. So kudos for stepping up and participating in that. It's beautiful, nicely captured image. It may have been an iPhone, but I'm not sure.
She got some really nice lighting there.
I love those kind of skies.
Northwest Council also has a digital slideshow competition. And Bainbridge historically takes a lot of awards. There's like 7 awards: best of show, and then first, second, third of each, of 2 different categories, either a photo essay, which can be anything but travel, and then a travel essay and stuff. And we've, for many years running, have participated and placed well. They actually got a lot more entries this year, and it's like 14 plus entries or whatever, or I think, it was up, and it may have been more. This was like about a week. And Rob did an entry. He got a second place with his thing on Slinkies. Don't click on on the caption, but if you do click on the caption, it will launch the slideshow, so you can actually watch the slideshow from all three of these. I know we all saw them. Most of us saw them the other night. Jane, yeah, I don't think we didn't do it Zoom, but his second one is Reflections, and basically that is a third place winner, and it'll launch. And then in the travel area, One Day in Bilbao, which the goal there was just to go to see the Guggenheim, and that's what kind of in the city. Unfortunately, it was the first day of this tour that I was on. Unfortunately, there were, or fortunately, 1.2 million people. Also, additional people from Bilbao showed up because they had won the King's Cup soccer championship, and it was like an all day, most of the night kind of event and stuff like that. But there, slideshows are fun, and
What a wonderful compilation, and congratulations are in order for the Bainbridge Island Photo Club, and it's just great to see so much participation. You guys are a very active group.
Thanks for letting us showcase all this.
Oh, you're welcome. I
Absolutely.
enjoy it. And we're heading into a new year, and as you were saying, you get new members all the time, right?
Correct. And thanks to Tom for being our NWCCC representative too.
Absolutely.
Applause in order. Have a lovely rest of the year, and I really appreciate you coming to share these. I know that next month we're going to share some of Pat Egas's photos.
Wonderful.
Yep.
Yeah.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy
Happy
holidays.
holidays.
Yep. Mhm.